Well, hello folks, my name's Ian. Welcome to my shed. I've just been finishing off the last of these circuit boards, and then I weighed in all the aluminium, and that's what's led to this video. I'll fill you in on that shortly. E-waste, Ian's way. Oh my God, there'll be wood engineers out there who'll be having a dicky fit at the moment because of what I've just done. But it's an old, it's an Eclipse chisel, good make, but it's got a tang that goes all the way through, so you can belt it with an hammer. And belting it with an hammer is what I do to take off the bits of these circuit boards, which I think I want. I don't do precious metals as such, but I do recognise that they've got a value. I'm going to save them up for about 5 or 10 years until my secret location is full and I can't get any more in. But wood chisel, ball peen engineer's hammer. You've got to use the right hammer for the right job. And she's off. Number 2 wire. Yeah, here it is. It's ferrite core. Split it in half. Yeah, like playing an accordion. Pull it apart, and you just throw it in a bag. Same time, I'm also going to take off all these little M&Ms. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's because I watch other people do it. And if they're going to do it, there must be a value in it, in which case I'm going to do it. To me, as I'm going to say a traditional scrapper, copper, aluminium, brass, then I don't really see much value in these. What I do see is brass clips on the ends. There they go. So I'll be having them off, the transformers. Pop out these big M&Ms. I'll save these big caps because they're 1000 microfarads, 350 volts. They'll be worth playing with. A couple of MOSFETs on. You can crack them open and get the copper off them. Aluminium heatsink, more little transformers. But back in with the hammer in. Easy peasy, one transformer off. And like these clips here, they don't take much. Not with a sharpened chisel anyway. But they're, small handful. And every little helps. Ian says, missing his bag and throwing them on the floor. As I said, yeah, whip the MOSFETs off. Right. I've had a go. If I recognise something, I'll take it off. If I don't, I'll break it open. For example, all those capacitors. So when I started to read them, it'll give a microfarad value. This, for example, is a relay. Copper. Micro scrapping. But, anyway. Probably invest in an air chisel. Probably. Right. let's talk about these big M&Ms. We've got some of these big M&Ms in sort of some clips. Wood chisel again, and you just press down those three, and out she comes. Why is she a she? I don't know. And there we go, one handful of M&Ms. They're quite big ones. I don't actually know what they are. Just know everybody else saves them. So I'll throw them over there with everything else. I'll just whip off the rest of what I want on here. If you're doing this, if you don't have the knowledge, and I don't, I only hear what other people say, and they go, oh look, an MLCCC, or a tantalum, or whatever. I know a MOSFET, and I know relays. And if I see something and I don't know what it is, I can try and read it, but I usually just knock one off and bash it open. So if in doubt, you know, you don't know what's in something, knock it off and break it open. Satisfy your curiosity. A relay. Copper coil inside, silver contacts, bit more copper. So you never know, you're looking at raffling these things. You know, I know these are relays. It all adds up. All this lot, I'm just going to throw in a bag for a rainy day. Although I have been creating more bog ships. So we're getting through it. And that is the last one. I had them all stacked up here. So that box will be going into storage. Oh, what else did we find? It's amazing. You start looking at these things, start looking at them, and you're like, what's in that? And I found a few things, like, you know, this. Yeah, it's got some gold on. Memory card, 256k. And I even found a it picked tiny things up like that. 8 gig Toshiba SD card. I'll go in my phone, camera, whatever, useful. Right. So going back to something like, if you don't know what it is, knock it off, break it up. Some of the things I took off had these in. Well, there's only, you know, in this case there's two ways on that side and 2 ways on that side. Because there's that. I could put it in Google and find out. But I'll probably, well, not probably, I am, for your benefit and mine, I'm going to cut it open, see what's inside of it. But first, just let me clear my bench. Right, now I might cause a little bit of controversy here. I basically depopulated that board of all the larger items. Now the caps, 1000 microfarad caps, 300 volts, 315 volts. I've actually chopped the board out because I want to do something dangerous with them sometime. So I can put them with all the other large caps that I've saved for a later date. Leaving me with this pretty much of a bare board. So I just don't see the point of having these 3 capacitors on. I might as well take them off as well, aren't I? Right, so what have I done to that board now? I've totally devalued it. There's still, whoa, I didn't see them. Well, they'll have to come off. Always turn your board over. I don't know, is there any value on this board? The MLCCs. See, I don't know. Yeah, that's an MLCC, I recognise it. It's brown and browny coloured. That fat end of my screwdriver. There we go. What's these things? Don't know. Don't know. But maybe, oh, and we've got some chips on here. More MLCCs. I don't even know what MLCC stands for, I'll have to Google that. But anyway, as far as I'm concerned, that board's done. And I can stack it. It's not got all those big things. Right, if I'm going to weigh it in, yes, I've lost some weight. And you'll be surprised at just how many of those. What?
What was that bang then? Earlier.
A loud bang? That's a little bit untoward of the neighbours, isn't it? What, here? Not in here.
Don't forget, shift that off couch here, because it goes flying.
I will be moving that, yeah. Yeah, so you know you're losing some weight, but you know, I don't know. Maybe there's a market for capacitors. I don't know. I need to find a market for circuit boards in the north of England. Right, let's tidy up. Let's have a look at that. Let's tidy up. Talk about the scrap I got and have a look at that. We have even found a red M&M. And what's so special about this red M&M is that it's got a parasite. Look at that. Unbelievable. Yeah, as I was saying, you see something and you don't know what it is. Just you know, take one apart. Copper. You never know. Oh, them little button things. Those little button things, they've got copper inside. So we've all tidied up now. We're just getting ready to cut those things up. But I'm going to take a minute here, have a break, have some FS draft Turkish Mediterranean beer. I said Turkish. Let you know what that's like in a minute. And of course I'm just watching my mate Guido Wandelt, all handmade, making a torch holder. Right, I could talk about the prices I got. I mislaid the ticket. I got £134 for me aluminium weigh-in. Some of that was aluminium fire extinguishers. Some was some cast aluminium off a few motors, etc. But the majority of it was the aluminium from the inverters. Now, when I did my last video, I was saying, oh well, I've got 8 kilos, £1,500 a tonne. £1.50 a kilogram. £8, £8.50 is £4, £12. Well, prices have dropped, and for me, all rolled aluminium, the casings, etc., I only picked up £850 a tonne, or 85 pence a kilogram. If you were to look at that, then that would be 8. There was roughly 8 kilos in each one. 8 times 85p, £6.50, £7, something like that. Half the price, I think, a bit more than half the price than I was going to expect. However, Robert, of the old Anvil Yard, he liked the heat sinks. I mean, they was on their own were 4.5 kilos. One of them in particular was almost 8 kilos. It was massive. So for that, he gave me £1,000 a tonne. Still £500 a tonne less than I were expecting, but at least it's more than the 85 pence a kilogram, the £850 a tonne. So that threw my figures down a bit. So where I was talking to Robert saying, nah, you know, I'm getting £20 a scrap out of these, what would you buy them off me for? it works out that he couldn't afford to buy them off me for what I wanted because my figure scrap ratio was too high. And it would probably be in a better position to have said, put them on the marketplace and say, £25 sold as seen. I wouldn't have lost out. One of them in particular, when I opened it, it even had a bag of fittings inside. It looked brand new, no dust whatsoever. And I was a little bit gutted on that. I thought, oh, this is brand new. But I just don't have the time and I don't have the space. So, that was that. Was it worth it? It's worth it to me. Not going to be worth it to other people who who time is money. This is my enjoyment. You know, like I've said it many a time. You can sit at the side of a riverbank fishing, spend hours and hours, and come home with nothing, but you've enjoyed yourself. You know, you can go and knock a little ball round a big green field, try and get it into a little hole. I don't. Nope, we'll not go there. About banging your balls in little holes. No, not going there. So, I'm not going to stop laughing. I'm sorry, after that fit of unintentional laughing. I opened my beer. I carried on watching Guido, and there's his awesome. I think I'm going to zoom in on that for you. Ain't that an awesome torch holder? And a bit further on the V by his fingers, he's putting his TIG torch in. It's quite nice. Quite nice that. I could drink a few of them on a hot day. Right. I've been shouted in for my tea. It either goes in me or in the dog, so I'll have to go in. We don't have a dog, but me or in the bin, should I say. Right, then we'll cut that open and see what was inside that. Okay, we've digressed a little, only a tiny little. I need to get me saw out. So I had to move the egg. That's going sooner or later. And then round the egg was this several of these. It's banding wire. It's about 6 milli thick, 1/4 of an inch. I use it for my metal art on my wood burners, but it's hard to store like that. However, a little bit of sticking in that hole, bit of rolling, you can straighten it somehow. So basically we've got this twirly whirly piece of thing. You just stick one end in a piece of box section till you get to a bend, and you lever it up until you get to the next bend, and you do the same until you get it something like, and you can bring it out. I can stick it on my block and with my rubber hammer, because we wouldn't like to be making a noise, not like my inconsiderate neighbours. I can and there we go. Don't have to be straight, but I can at least store it easier in that format. Right, let's get my saw out. So we've got the saw out. Right, what have we got? Well, we don't know what we've got. This is the whole point of it. We've got a block with 2 wires coming out of it, red and black. So I'm going to say it's a capacitor. It's got like a potting stuff in an aluminium casing. There's no markings on it, so I can't Google it. Unlike the other one, which I've misplaced here, which has got some markings on it, and that's got 4 wires coming out of it. But and then I've got this one, which is very similar but much larger, and a multitude of wires coming out of it. Right, so I want to know what's in it. I'm guessing you lot want to know what's in it. Now, I've got the extractor fan on, you can hear that running. I'll be putting a face shield on, and I'll be putting a dust mask on. I have had an email recently off a guy, subscriber, saying he watches my videos, he finds them entertaining. That's good, that's what I try to do, entertain. But he's into electronics, and he's warning me that it's not just microwaves that have dangerous, like beryllium oxides in as insulators. Some of the electronic components also do so. So just be careful when you're just bashing things to bits, that you know what you're bashing things to bits, or take some precautions. Right, so my guess is that's just a capacitor. I doubt it being a lithium ion battery. God, I hope it's not when I start cutting it in half. In which case we better have a fire extinguisher handy, and I've got 1 or 2 of them somewhere. Right, let's stick it on the tripod. Let's see what's inside of that. Right, shield, mask, and we've got some water to spray on in case it gets really dusty. Power on. Watch your ears. Well, whatever's in there, it ain't touching it. So I think we'll just cut round the outside, break it open that way. Well, this is proving to be stubborn. Right, well no, whatever's in there is hard and we can't cut through it. So I think we'll now resort to brute force and ignorance. Although you're going to say there's definitely copper inside of it because there's lots of copper bits. So let's split that open. So, as they say on a bog ship, resistance is futile. Well, the aluminium outer casings come off easy enough, and indeed Bruce, there's copper in there. Now, when I was on Scrapping Irish's live stream last Sunday and I was showing this to Rafael Scrapper, he said, awesome. It's a simple flyback transformer, and I think he's right. However, on a simple flyback transformer inside of a television, If you've ever tried to strip one, they're bare impossible to do so. So this is a lot easier. It's basically just a transformer. It has some micro insulation. So it just pulls off like that. You know, you can do it in the end if you want to. Resistance is futile. Well, that'll get stuck in my tube and squashed. Alright. Go on, we'll just do this bit and then we're calling it a day. Right, you're a day. Okie doke, so bit of iron for the iron tub. Now, I don't actually know that much about electric magicry, but I do know that I do know how a transformer works. You know, like in a microwave transformer. There is one round here somewhere. Right, you got a coil. Okay, so you got a coil of wire going around some laminated steel. Throwing that in bin, haven't I? Right, you got some copper windings around some laminated steel. The laminations, as I'm told, are there to stop eddy currents via the magnetism, and it's eddy currents that make things heat up. So if that was a solid block of iron, magnetism will whirl round inside of it, and because it's whirling round, it'll excite the atoms, the electrons. I'm phrasing this badly, and it'll get hot. Like anybody else who gets excited, they get hot. It's why you get hot and bothered, isn't it? So if you laminate it, lots of little strips of steel inside there. You can see it's beginning to delaminate. Right, that stops the eddy currents forming. Right, generally speaking, as far as I know, a transformer does what it says. It transforms. So you put 240 volts in, you put a voltage in one side, that whizzes round, induces magnetism into the next coil at the side of it. One's usually a lot more windings than the other one, and that's how you transform it. So if you get like a microwave, you might have 100 windings on this side and 2,000 windings on that side. So therefore you'll get 240 volts in here and 2,500 volts out on this side, because there's a lot more coils. What this is leading to is those look like the same amount of coils on each side, which means it's not a transformer. Is it? Is that any different than a choke? If we look at it from, we cut it down that way, that way. If we cut that in half that way, you'd see some windings there and some windings there. It's not a choke. Like I said, Rafael Scrapper said it was a flyback transformer. And you know what that means? I'm going to have to go and Google what a flyback transformer is now. I told you. I told you. That. But you bang it in if it has some air around it, wouldn't you? Resistance. It's futile. And of course it would be very remiss of me not to show Scrapping Irish just what I actually do with all this gold bearing circuitry boards. Well, it's quite simple really. I put it in these half-ton bags full of other gold circuitry boards, and some even with chips on. Oh, there's even memory there. I'll take that memory off. I should really come back sometime and take all these aluminium heat sinks off, but it's such a long journey here. Right, so this is what I do. There we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Yeah, so that's me. Had another couple of hours playing in the shed. I tried this FSB. Not too bad. Not too bad. I think I got it from Home and Bergens. B&M Bergens, I can't remember. One of them. See you all later.